Hi everybody, welcome to City Beat. I'm your host Nancy Byrne and we are on Main Street here in the Arts District in downtown Las Vegas. Now, it's a little more quiet here than it normally is, but it's still getting a lot of attention. You know, there is a theory in law enforcement called the broken window theory, and basically what it means is when an area of town gets boarded up, it can become a target for vandals. Well, the city of Las Vegas didn't want that happening here because business owners have put so much pride and time and money into their businesses and they know it's just temporary. So they came up with a program to turn boarded up buildings into a thing of beauty instead of blight. Clarice Terra creates beauty for a living. She works with convention and event organizers to turn empty spaces into beautiful environments.
I'd like to say to increase joy within the community during this really unusual time.
Never has there been a time when her gift of creating joy was so needed than now. So she's temporarily moved from her normal workspace. This is now her studio, Main Street in the downtown Arts District.
We're in the middle of a pandemic and where there is an incredibly infectious disease that is threatening the well-being of our entire world. And what the result of that is that our economy has basically come to a complete standstill.
While a few of the business owners here are squeaking by offering curbside service of food and drinks, all have had to shutter their shops to prevent burglary and vandalism while they wait for the signal that it's safe to reopen. Clarice is one of many talented artists answering the call from the city of Las Vegas and business owners to tackle the challenge of making boarded up buildings beautiful.
I think it gives them hope. It gives them something more positive to see. Instead of seeing boarded up buildings, they see color and life and positive messages throughout downtown and Fremont.
We met up with one of our city leaders behind this art project, at a safe distance, of course, to find out why they felt it was important to enable local artists to paint a brighter outlook at this dark time.
We realize these are real tough times for small business with the governor's directive to close non-essential businesses and businesses needing to close for an extended period of time. And we were hearing from our business partners in the community that they needed to protect their businesses and their storefronts. So we created this program called Business Protection Program.
Bill Arndt says business owners here on Main Street and over on Fremont East who have been forced to board up need only ask the city for this help.
We're providing $2,000 cash grants to help businesses secure their storefronts with the typical boards that you would use to board up a business. But we wanted to let the community know that we're not closing forever. So we required, as part of the program, that there be some form of decorative paint or artwork in the businesses.
Arndt says when the city came up with the idea to provide protection with the stipulation businesses provide the beauty, they had no idea it would take off to this level.
We're not the art judge and jury, so very loose interpretation, any form of paint or decoration on the boards, but we have such a great artist community in Las Vegas. You can see that they've really taken it to heart.
The artists we spoke with say they thought carefully about what to paint, hoping to provide hope and comfort at this difficult time, but they also told us it was therapeutic for them as well.
To have this opportunity during this time where so many people are feeling afraid and unsettled, to be able to create in a way that not only comforts myself but can provide comfort and hope to others, that's a gift. So I feel blessed.
Creating art is therapeutic and it does help not feel so discouraged through these times. And then to be able to create a mural here in the Las Vegas community is just, it's an honor. It really is, because as we all know, we can't have First Friday, we can't gather, but this is a way of gathering safely.
And all the great art on the outside of the businesses, as you can see here behind me, businesses have been great about beautifying their storefront during the closure. And I think it's our small way of letting businesses know we'll be back, we're going to reopen, but while we're closed, we wanted to make sure that all the businesses look great in downtown.
This may be a time of uncertainty, but the artists hope being forced to stop, to distance ourselves from one another, and find joy in simpler things results in a new appreciation for the value of art and the amazing art community in Las Vegas.
Because when everything else in the world has been told to stop, art is this thing that's still here and flourishing and providing balance. We're giving a sense of balance within something that's so chaotic.
If you're a downtown business owner and you'd like to get involved in the Business Protection Program, it's going to last as long as it's needed or until the city completely reopens. Just call EUD at 229-6865. We all know there are restaurants in Las Vegas run by world-renowned chefs, but did you know you can now learn from a world-renowned chef? Well, you can. There's a new Pastry Academy. He's got a huge social media following, but in this segment of Open for Business, find out why he likes the face-to-face learning. It looks like a sculpture made from clay, marble, or polished wood, but this work of art called Beneath the Sea is actually made from chocolate. And it was made by pastry chef and chocolatier AMAURY GUICHON.
That's it.
It is here at his downtown Las Vegas Pastry Academy where he trains other chefs to up their game, so to speak.
While some of you are starting to glue the shell, the rest of you can start spraying with the airbrush the detail on the Nautilus.
Chef Guichon was born in France, grew up in Switzerland, and was invited at a very young age to do some teaching of his craft in Moscow. But America has always been his dream.
I always felt that America was a land of opportunity where people were hardworking, and I don't know, I was always driven. At first it was just to have a one-year experience, try to learn how to speak English, and I loved it, so I stayed.
He says he loves the combination of being a chef and teaching others. He has a huge social media following, one of the largest in the world if you look at his numbers, but he enjoys the face-to-face instruction he's able to provide here at his new academy. He's only been open since October of 2019, but immediately attracted applicants from across the globe.
We completed already 2 full sessions of 10 weeks. And all the students are very happy and excited, and they come from all around the world. So far we had people from India, Indonesia, Korea, China, Israel, Italy, France. We have been very lucky.
Luck has little to do with his success. It's more like devotion from students who have been following him for years. KARAN BAJAJ left his home in India to study with the chef.
I've been following Chef for the last few years since I became a pastry chef. And I've always watched his work and been inspired by it, and always wanted to meet him in person, like, you know, seeing his Instagram and seeing everything that I've seen. And when I heard he opened a school, straight away went online, logged in and like applied to it, got into the first program and decided to make my way all the way from India here. There was no one else I'd come here for or move from India for. He was the reason why I decided to like come here and join this academy. When I realized that it was him teaching us, I straight away decided that I'm going to leave everything back home and come to Las Vegas away from home.
No, okay, I think it's better to put it here and then I'll put the shelf up there. Okay.
His loyal followers from social media were all quick to apply for the Pastry Academy as soon as they heard he was opening one. No one we spoke with has been disappointed.
The Pastry Academy is incredible. I've been learning so much. We've done everything from breads to chocolate to DACKO to we're learning theory. Everyone here is just incredible at everything that they do and teaching. It's been amazing.
For this student who moved here from Florida to learn from the chef, desserts are her passion, but this chocolate creation is her dream lesson.
This is my favorite, chocolate. I'm a chocolatier, so just getting to play with chocolate as much as I can is a thrill for me. So our theme is under the sea for all the show pieces, so we made like a little nautilus, and I've never done this technique before, so I've definitely learned a lot.
She says it's important to her that people who order these incredible desserts know the heart and hard work that goes into such a creation.
People sit down and they eat a dessert, but you know, they don't know all that goes into that dessert that they're eating right now.
Glue it onto the shell.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chef GUICHON feels locating in Las Vegas offers opportunity to those students who may fall in love with our city and wish to stay.
Vegas is actually a great city because there is, with the hotel and the industry, like there is always job opportunity. So it's kind of like a win-win for them. They come, they learn, and they can eventually stay.
He says there are many great culinary schools out there, but he tries to combine his decades of experience with his passion for teaching to offer something very unique to the students who travel far and wide to learn from him.
Here we are very dedicated towards education. We are very well equipped, and we have an extremely knowledgeable staff, including myself. So what we are giving to the very small group of students we accept here is, I would believe, it's pretty unique.
If you are interested in opening a business, our Department of Economic and Urban Development is standing by, ready to help you every step of the way. Chef's future plans include reaching out to tourists and residents who may not be students of the culinary world but would like to take a 3-hour class in his beautiful kitchen. Of course, all of this is on hold for right now. Pastry Academy is located at East Charleston and Casino Center. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to stay on the food theme and tell you how our schools are stepping up to make sure our kids don't go hungry.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew she was special.
Welcome back to City Beat from Main Street in the Arts District, where it's fairly quiet because, well, many of the businesses have had to basically shut down, although some of them are still doing curbside delivery service. Well, another segment of our population that is suffering right now due to the coronavirus are the students at CCSD who rely on lunch and sometimes even breakfast at school. Well, now that the schools are shut down, the school district is continuing to feed them and will continue to do so. But now that it's heating up, they're changing their times of delivery. Those meals are available to children ages 2 through 18. To find a site near you, go to ccsd.nutrislice.com. There have also been some changes on the 3 Square distribution sites. For that, you can go to ccsd.net. We have got more good news on the food front. You may not know this, but about 180 Clark County schools have gardens bearing wonderful fruits and vegetables. Well, now that food will be used by local restaurants to make meals to be delivered through the nonprofit Delivering with Dignity. With the CCSD campuses closed, the annual Green Our Planet Farmers Market that was supposed to take place on Earth Day was canceled. Thousands of vegetables intended to be sold by students at that market will not go to waste. That food will go to participating restaurants to prepare 800 meals for delivery. For more information, you can go to deliveringwithdignity.org. You know, the whole world is reeling from this coronavirus. We're all trying to figure out ways to deal with social distancing, existing in cities that are basically shut down, and trying to find things to do with our family and our pets from home. It has been a real human experiment, but we're proud to say that we think our residents are dealing pretty well and being pretty good sports in a very difficult time. We set out across the city to capture some images. Some are sad, and some are heartwarming as Las Vegans support each other. We'd like to thank everyone in our communications department for contributing to that photo essay. We certainly know it is cliche and said more easily by some rather than others, but getting through this together is something we are going to have to do. This is temporary, and if you're one of the fortunate ones getting by financially or surrounded by family, look out for those who are not. It is the only way we will get through this truly together. We'll be right back.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back to City Beat from Main Street in the Downtown Arts District. You know, one of the things that kind of surprised many of us when we were told to shelter in place was the huge run on water at the grocery stores. Now, we know some people might prefer the taste of bottled water over what comes out of your tap, but it's perfectly healthy. So we thought it was a good time to visit our water treatment plant and show you what our water goes through before it comes out your faucet. We all take it for granted. We turn on a faucet in our home and clean water just magically flows. But where does it come from? And is it really clean enough to drink? To find out the answers, we're going to track that water full circle from wastewater to tap water, starting with where it goes when it leaves our house.
The wastewater goes through a series of pipelines that typically run like under your street and out into the major thoroughfares, all the way down to our treatment plant.
Wait, that's it? Well, it may sound simple, but there's so much more that goes on from your drain to the water treatment plant and ultimately Lake Mead. So let's start with those pipelines. They are not just haphazardly thrown underground. A lot of planning goes into their location, how many, and how large they will be. To ensure the system is on target, the engineers with the city's sanitary sewer section gets involved whenever a building permit is requested.
Anybody that wants to build in the city, they'll have to come and submit land use applications and things like that, like I want to build a residential subdivision, or I want to build a commercial, or I want to build just a house. So they apply, and one of the processes is it comes through our division here in Public Works, and we'll ensure that what they're proposing, they're connecting to something that we want them to connect to, or we can require them to build a piece of pipe to pioneer sewer to that area, and to make sure that they're doing it in the proper way, that they're building it to and designing it and building it to public standards.
When a business license is requested, another division steps in. The Environmental Compliance Section, or ECS. Businesses are subject to monitoring by our ECS inspectors to make sure dangerous industrial chemicals never make it out of their buildings to the treatment plant.
Wastewater treatment plants by nature are designed to treat domestic household waste, not industrial commercial wastes. That's required to be treated at the source, at the business itself. When you come in to get a business license at the city, depending on what category you're in, let's say you're an automotive repair facility, you're automatically flagged for an ECS approval, which is us. You're required to fill out paperwork for us, which we review, and then we make a determination as to whether or not any requirements are going to be needed on the business, and or if a permit is required, and then and or what type of monitoring is going to be required from there.
Once licenses are issued and pipes are in, Public Works regularly inspects them, and the Streets and Sanitation Division takes care of repairs and routine cleaning.
It's our responsibility to make sure that those pipelines are in top condition, and if they're not in top condition, then we need to do something about them.
Enter this very high-tech robot and computer program used by the city to go where humans would prefer not to go.
it's a scanner actually, so it's taking pictures on either side of the robot that actually traverses through the pipeline. And so it takes thousands of pictures, and then once you take it back into the office, it stitches them all, the software stitches them all together so that whenever you want to review that video inspection, you can start and stop, wherever you want to. You can turn and pan and look, so that conventional camera, you're kind of stuck with whatever the guy that was operating the camera wanted to look at that time.
Pipes can be looked at from all angles to detect weak spots such as root intrusions, and can be fixed before a major problem occurs. You see, if a pipe collapses or gets blocked, dangerous and unhealthy problems occur.
The water has to go somewhere. So we have manholes, and so there's access points to get to that pipeline underground. So the water will come up through there, and then what you have is a sanitary sewer overflow, which is, that's obviously, that's a big problem. One of the other things that's happened in other jurisdictions is you can actually have the ground fails. The pipe collapses and the ground above it sinks, and so you get a sinkhole, and we have a real good track record of avoiding those type of things because of the programs that we have in place today.
That's the story of the elaborate and very well-maintained pipe system in a nutshell. So that takes us to the water treatment plant, or water pollution control facility. Laura Giuliano shows us the many steps taken here to clean incoming wastewater.
You can see behind me the large pipes that bring all the wastewater from the city jurisdiction all into 3 main pipes underground and into our treatment plant so that we can treat the wastewater.
From the plant's underground pipes, it ends up here at the first stage, headworks, where debris that could clog pipes later in the process is removed.
Our goal here is to remove a lot of the large debris that gets flushed down into the sanitary sewer. It can be rags, trash, garbage, anything going down the garbage disposal.
The solids are collected in trucks and carried off to the landfill. As you can imagine, this step comes with a less than pleasant odor. That is where these giant pipes and tree bark come into play.
As the 45 million gallons of wastewater comes into the plant, it also brings with it foul odors. And so one of our goals is to capture the foul odors and treat it and scrub it and make sure that it's clean, because we do have neighbors and we want to be good neighbors to the community around us. The foul air comes up through the bark chips and is cleaned and treated.
The next stop for the water is the primary settling basins, where the water slows down, allowing for heavy solids to settle to the bottom and grease to rise to the top.
We skim the solids off the bottom and skim the grease off the top. Then it comes to this stage, which is our activated sludge nitrification basin. The idea of this stage is we're using biological mechanism at this point, where there's microorganisms inside the basin that will consume the ammonia and remove the nitrogen.
The final filtration takes place in this building in preparation for the chlorination stage.
The goal is to remove all the fine particulates, because they can interfere with the disinfection when we add the sodium hypochlorite, which is basically bleach, about double the strength of what you would buy in the grocery store.
Finally, this water is dechlorinated and sent out to the Las Vegas Wash, the wetlands, and eventually Lake Mead. Job done? Not yet. Meet Scott Schieffer and Bruce DACKO. They visit Lake Mead at least once a week, not for fun and games, but to test the water at all levels to make sure what the city of Las Vegas is returning to the lake is in tip-top shape. And it may reassure you to know the lake is cleaner than most. You see, Lake Mead also is the source of our drinking water.
Well, I get asked a lot of times if I drink the water, and I absolutely do drink the water.
We watched as they ran through just some of the tests they perform out here on the lake to be sure.
This is a sucky disc. We're going to lower it in the water, and the idea is to lower it as far as we can until we can't see it anymore. And it gives us an idea of the condition of the quality of the water, the clarity. The clearer it is, generally, the better the water quality is. Lake Mead on days like today in the winter, we can get down to near 20 meters, whereas a lot of lakes you'll be lucky to get 2 or 3 meters at any time of the year.
Here's another test. Samples of water are taken with this device. When it's lowered to the test level, a line is pulled and it snaps shut so that when it is raised, no other water can get into the sample, contaminating it. This is done at various levels. There are several other tests taken at 9 different sites in the lake. Some of the samples are sent out since the city reports to the Nevada and the U.S. Environmental Protection agencies.
But in general, we're trying to check the water as it's coming in from the wash and out into the lake and making sure that the wash water is not impacting the lake in any negative ways.
What comes out of our water treatment plant not only affects the quality of our drinking water, it affects our environment.
It meanders through, and there's areas along it where there's these erosion control structures called weirs, which spread the water out and slow it down, and these create areas for habitat for wildlife, ducks and birds and invertebrates and small animals and things. And you have this whole ecosystem that's dependent upon the wash, which is basically created by the wastewater treatment plants.
So you see, when the water leaves our home, it's not magic. It's hundreds of city employees tending to it on a long journey with many intricate steps to ensure this precious resource is clean and healthy.
What we're talking about is the journey of water, and it's such a vital resource for all of the entire community. And what we want to convey is this is our portion of how to build community to make life better and for all our neighbors.
We want to thank everyone at the Water Pollution Control Facility for that wonderful tour. That does it for another City Beat. We are on Main Street in downtown Las Vegas in the Arts District. You know, a lot of these businesses are basically shut down, but we want to remind you that many of the restaurants are continuing with curbside and delivery service. So if you're getting tired of peanut butter sandwiches and ramen noodles, eat out. Call one of your favorite restaurants, support a local restaurant, and go pick up a meal. We'll see you for the next City Beat.